back to Boys and Ghouls Film Review, folks. I'm your host, Sarah Stephenson, and this is my co-host, Mike Stephenson.
Hi, guys.
So tonight we are going to review another independent film that came out not too long ago that was released in 2021, and it's called Bloody Summer Camp.
That's not swearing. No. It's I think it's got something to do with blood. Now,
Yeah.
Now, this one is a comedy, horror, slasher, partly tribute, you would think, maybe, in a funny, offhanded sort of a way to they use those campsite sort of slasher movies we've grown to love and cherish.
Yeah. I do think when we were watching this yesterday, so you guys know, and I couldn't help but see a lot of Easter eggs in this one.
There's a lot of, I think they took a lot of liberties to pad it out and sort of, hey, look at this, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. Some people have mentioned sleepwake clamp and someone's mentioned somebody else. Yeah, but they're little bits. They took snippets here and there and they made let's say it's a comedy horror. That's the best it is. Yeah, comedy slasher.
And of course, the twist ending is much to be desired.
It wasn't much to be desired. It was interesting.
It was interesting, yes.
I wouldn't say much to be desired. I think it was, I didn't see that one coming.
Yeah,
but then when you sit back and say, oh, yeah, fair enough, does make a bit of sense. Yeah.
But it was pretty cool. It had I especially like the twist ending the most in this one. And aside from the story, which I thought was okay, other stuff I had little issues here and there. But aside from that, it's an okay production in my book.
Yeah, I got no idea on the budget or anything, so I can't tell you. I get the impression it was a low budget, independent. I could be wrong, but I think it was a low, not a no budget. I think there's a lot of people, so he thanked a lot of people. They might have been the contributors who actually put some money into it. So
when I was trying to look for this production, the director, I know the director, so you guys know, he recommended I actually check it out on Tubi, and when I went on there, it said no content available.
Yeah, I've been trying to find stuff too. However, I will talk about that a bit later on. Now I'm going to do my bit now.
But he manages to gave me a private copy to it, so we managed to got a chance to watch it before it's snipped off.
We did.
Anyway, thanks again to David, who bothered David Kerr to lend us a copy just to get our heads around the story and the plot.
Now I'm going to go through my normal stuff now. This is why I like independence. It shows that one person can make a difference. Here we go. Right. Produced by David Kerr, Amber Fulcher, Michael McGlynn, and Jamie Wiseman, and there were 30 other more exec producers and associate producers involved. But David was in there. It was directed by David Kerr. It was written by David Kerr. It was edited by David Kerr. Costume design was by David Kerr and Amber Fulcher. Production manager was, what's his name? Oh, yeah, David Kerr. Prop designer, the other guy, David Kerr.
The guy who did the catering.
And one of the boom operators was, David Kerr. So, yeah, you can get your hands dirty. You can put your hat on. You can put several hats on, and you can get the job done.
As long as you know what you're doing and you're just ahead of everyone in the scene, like know what you want to shoot, how to shoot it, and getting all in the can.
So if I had a hat on, I'll take it off to David, because a lot of people say, oh, you can't do all these things. Well, yeah, bloody well can if you get your bum into gear and turn around and say, look, I want to get this made, and the best way to do it is to take control of it and do as much as I can, and then get the production I want. And he's done that. Yeah.
I had the same issue with one in my production last year, where we were thinking about having two camera operators at the same time filming the last few shots, and I had an earful from my DOP who explained it to me that if they somehow the camera that someone else is using won't match up with the camera footage he shoots off his camera.
You see.
And so I decided just to let him go for the his camera and no one else's, obviously. Anyway, go on.
Yeah, having said all that, so guys like David Kerr, I have a lot of admiration for the man. Okay,
I agree.
Now the cast. There, it was like a Cecil B. DeMille, a cast of thousands, but I've trimmed it down to about 15 or so, I think, whatever, and down to about 15, I think. So I'll read through these people, and okay, Kathy Leigh plays Tiffany. She's a main female. Chandra Rawlings plays Kimberly, her friend. Wayne Townsend plays Mike Dutras. Cody Falk plays Todd Dosia. Brendan Lynch plays Donnie stroke Devilface. Now, Devilface gets mentioned again in a minute. I think they had two people dressed up at different stages filling in. Felissa Rose from Sleepaway Camp plays Michelle Crowell. Bob Langford plays Bob Lahey.
Yeah.
Now,
I also think Felissa Rose was the red herring in the production.
Yeah, everyone thought she was naughty. Anyway,
go on.
Michael McGlynn, one of the producers, he was in it as Roger Wiseman. Interesting, because Wiseman was one of the producers. Roger Wiseman and also Devilface. So obviously he's filled in for a few scenes as Devilface.
Yeah, well, as I often say, guys, in the past, you might need an extra person to play the slasher
like Michael
killer.
Myers had the body, didn't he? Or shape or something, didn't he?
Yeah, just in case if someone's unavailable and you need
someone's got to go to the
extra
toilet
hand.
or something or other.
And it's always good to plan ahead while working on this production.
We're still going through the group. Matthew Sharp plays Zach Davis. I'm almost finished. Gretchen Settle plays Felicia Gala. Zachary Thaler plays Hampton Rhodes. Samantha Faust plays Stacey Hunter. Julie Ann Prescott plays Jewel Corrick, and David Sheridan plays Sheriff Roman Wilmore.
He's a character
And
that's
he
hard
is
to believe.
funny.
He's weird. He's like the over the top type of person you want.
But he's your funny dude. You know, he's sort of like, ooh, okay, you think he's a straight guy, but he's a bit of a. Some of the lines he gets are really good. So, you know, now, I've got no more to say at this point, so take it away, Grizzly.
Sure. So the story begins with, let me see, how did the story go? Oh, yeah.
Once upon a time.
Our two girls who are named Tiffany and Kimberly are just heading in their truck, and heading towards the summer camp. And while they're supposed to be playing teenagers, they don't resemble anything like teenagers. This is one of the things one of the issues I find about this movie, guys, because everyone looks like they're
a bit too old,
a little too old.
Yes, and
it doesn't work.
However,
anyway, so they go before they get to the summer camp, they go to a gas station. There, they are not waited on by anyone. So They pay at the register and then head back to their car.
They left $2 on the counter for 2 soft drinks. There you go.
Yeah. Or whatever they call them.
Well, 2 soft drinks. Yeah, a Coke and a Pepsi, or orange juice, whatever it was. Yeah.
And of course, the dialogue they say in this is a bit staged. Isn't that the term, Mike?
What?
We described the dialogue between the actors as
some of it was a bit
stagey.
stagey, but stage acting's a bit different to television and movie acting. Well, it did sound, some of it sounded a little bit stagey, but maybe that was intentional.
Yeah. Anyway, they head to the camp, and along the way, a truck drives by a girl who's heading to the camp. This is sort of an Easter egg from Friday the 13th, where the unknown person picks up a hitchhiker and
kills her in the woods.
Well, in this one, he kind of kills her where she's standing.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Why waste time? Hey, folks. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
Then we head to the camp where we meet the rest of our cast, including Felissa Rose and the head camp counselor.
The head guy.
And a guy that looks like Shaggy or at least Bunny Rubble, in my opinion.
Yeah, Bunny Rubble, that's more like it, yeah.
I described him that to Michael when we were watching him and thought, this guy is definitely Bunny Rubble material.
Hi, friend.
Exactly. Anyway, I guess he's sort of the comedy relief in this one.
Well, there were a bit of comedy things happening in there, which goes without saying. We said it was a comedy. You should have some comedy in it.
Yeah, we meet
Get on with it.
the popular boy Todd and a number of other guys, including one of those tough guys who kind of goes off the rail here in some of the scenes.
He had an attitude problem. Oh, yeah.
We also meet a handicapped boy who's in a wheelchair named Donnie, I think.
Yes.
Who is not too bad. I often think this particular character makes me think of the guy from Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the guy who was in a wheelchair who did not do very much, and he got himself chainsawed by a chainsaw.
Well, there you go then.
But that's a different movie. Anyway, moving on.
Anyway.
So they interact, get to know each other, talk about the weather, and talk about where we're going to get marijuana, the usual stuff.
The usual stuff you do. You go camping, a bit of nature zone.
Anyway, interaction here and there. And we also get to meet other people, like the chef, who is...
over the top sleazebag.
Sleazebag is the best word for it. And
we had one of those in Sleepaway Camp, didn't we, or something?
Oh yeah, sleazebag all the way.
Yeah.
Anyway, he kind of flirts with our girl Tiffany.
Flirts?
He kind of
flirt? That wasn't flirting.
Oh no.
That was being very downright suggestive. It wasn't flirting. There's a difference.
Yeah.
Really, trust me.
Anyway, let me see what happens. Oh, I should mention. Let me see what happens. Oh, we do eventually get some grimy kills, but we also get a bit of a scene where they're at a campfire where they talk and they discuss the urban legend at the camp.
Some years ago, someone was killed here. The usual stuff
the
around
usual
the campfire.
Stuff. And this scene makes me think of The Burning. Another camp horror slasher, movie that came out in the 80s. And the shot in this makes me think of that too. Up to the point where she says that he's coming back for revenge. And a friend jumps out wearing a devil mask.
Yeah.
And he gets severely talked down to by the head guy who's wearing his pajamas, who just happened to be there at the time.
Just walking past his pajamas. That's fun, isn't it? Yeah,
yes. I should mention, guys, there's no kids at this camp.
Kids.
So
this is pre-opening the camp. They're getting things ready. This could be, say, the week before the kids are due to show up. Yeah,
exactly. So they have time to fool
off,
around, maybe a bit of stuff like that.
Bit of sex, drugs, rock and roll, all the good stuff.
Anyway, eventually Todd tries to... he talks to the chef, finding out that he's being hard on Tiffany, and the chef gives him a run for his money, telling him where to stick it. I'm not going to say anything more about that one.
A bit rude.
Anyway.
Smash his head into the counter. Yeah, really good. Nice.
We do find out
the
chef gets... he gets murdered on the John, well, not really on the John.
He was standing up.
He was actually jiggling.
He was... can I say the word masturbating? He was standing up masturbating somewhere or other into a container or something or other. He could. I would have sat down. And someone came up behind him and killed him.
Yeah, I should mention that another camp counselor. I'm not sure if she was a counselor. I'm not familiar with ranking in camps at the moment because I haven't been to one of these things before, she gets killed by a fire extinguisher.
Her head was smashed in for fire.
One thing I like about this production is the special effects gore.
Actually, it was smashed. Their brains were going out. It was gutsy and glory. Good stuff.
I like, as I said to Mike when we were reviewing other ones that deal with prosthetics, special effects, makeup, stuff like that. I always like those ones where you rely on those instead of CGI.
Yeah, it's like cracking an Easter egg open and the fondant comes out. Yeah, very gooey, very nice.
Yeah. Anyway, soon enough, the camp leader thinks maybe we should not tell anyone about this because this might be
bad press,
and no one will go to a camp
and
like
they'll
this.
bankrupt me and blah 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 blah.
It sounds like the similar lines we heard in Sleepaway Camp, where the camp counselor was worried about that the kids would not come back.
He wasn't the counselor; he was the manager or the owner.
Okay, manager, owner, whatever his rank does not matter at this point.
Yeah, it does. The council wouldn't care. Yeah, he works there.
The other person that's sort of the next level down in charge is Felissa Rose's character. What's her name? Michelle.
Yeah,
and
Michelle,
the other
yeah.
guy who is a total jerk, dickwad.
Yeah,
Barney. And she does play a big part where she does tend to. In one scene, she does get into the chef, telling them to keep his hands clean.
Yes, and we're not talking about food preparation either.
Yeah, like keep
your mitts off the chicks.
Keep it general, guys.
Yeah.
Or strictly anything like that. Anyway,
Whatever.
So anyway, later on, they later find that Donnie, who was the guy in the wheelchair, he was also being teased by the nasty kid I told you guys about, or guy anyway. And at one point, he left him near a bit of a lake, and all they found left there was his wheelchair.
Upturned in the shallow waters there.
Oh yes, Mike here was just saying when we were watching it, how can he drown that? That deep.
The water's only a few inches deep just there, and if he fell off the wheelchair just there, the guy wasn't a quadriplegic, he was a paraplegic, so his arms still worked.
True.
It's from the waist down he had problems.
Yes.
So he could, if he fell over there, he could have dragged himself to the shore and called for help. He did sink like a stone. So
that's true.
A bit of us like, okay,
and Tiffany,
what's his space?
Well, I think she more or less was being friendly towards him and feels bad that Donnie is gone. But they don't find the body or anything like that.
No, there's no body floating around.
No.
I was expecting it to float around somewhere or something.
Yeah, they told the sheriff that maybe a few disappearances. They don't really say deaths.
Yeah, actually, during the beginning of the movie, there's a lot of missing people, persons, posters all over the place.
I should mention that
dozens
earlier.
of them.
Because there's this very big pinboard you see at the opening where has lots of missing people.
Generally younger people.
Mostly,
Generally. There's a couple of older people, but generally younger people missing. Another one's missing. Yeah. And you go, I wouldn't go to that place.
Yeah. There are other moments where our characters, they are... there's a lot of red herrings in this one too. You start suspecting maybe it's the nasty girl or the camp counselor, Michelle, or just about anyone who looks at you funny, obviously.
Or the nice guy. Yeah, who was... You think, oh, he must be a nice guy. He could be a final boy, but nah, Nope, wasn't him.
Anyway, we do get a few more grimy kills. I won't go into details.
That'll take the fun when you watch it. Yeah, take the fun away.
There are some really good ones, including some mixed stuff. I won't go into detail about that either. So anyway,
we can tell about anything.
But soon enough, Tiffany and Kim, the guy in charge decides to go to the local sheriff and try to get help, because at this point none of the cars are working.
Yeah.
And
funny that, eh?
And there's no chance of phoning on the near telephone snip.
You know the funny part is
the wire.
In every show, they walk up to just outside the office or somewhere where the telephone line is, and they clip the wire, right? Now, I am not 100% sure in America and stuff, but in Australia, I had the same problem in my house, and I reconnected the wires. It's 4 wires. I think it's had a red, blue, white, and maybe a yellow or something. It was, 2 in, 2 out. That was it. And just put them together, all colour-coded. Why didn't someone actually get some tape and hook the wires together and make a telephone call? Aha.
Well, then it wouldn't be a tribute to the old slashers of 80s.
Well,
I mean, ask them why they never
do. But they do it in every movie.
Every time.
That'd be the first thing I'd do. I'd repair the phone. There you go.
Yeah. Anyway, Tiffany and Kim are the few remaining female campers left, and Tiffany wants to try to find one of the survivors, because they were told to stay in their cabins and
stay
keep
safe. Yes.
Keep in numbers, the usual stuff.
Yeah. Safe numbers. Go swimming with a fat person so the shark will eat them.
Yeah.
Right.
Of course, at one point they get splitted up and separated, and Kim gets nastily killed, and then Tiffany is running around being chased by this killer. There's some really good shots in this, some of them, which are pretty good when I think about it. I like when they did a silhouette shot where the killer was walking across the wall, which I thought was pretty cool.
A bit like Nosferatu.
There's even a shot where a girl was walking past a window and the killer was walking exactly the same pace-wise as her.
Yeah, like
which
an
I
old
thought,
comedy movie.
Yeah, it makes me think of something of Charlie Chaplin or something.
Yeah, or Three Stooges or something. Yeah, so she's walking past the window, not looking out the window.
Yeah.
It's a full window, floor to ceiling sort of thing. And he's walking past, and she's walking past, and she's not looking at the window, and he's just pacing her out at the same speed across the window frame. Yeah. Quite funny. Yes.
She soon actually runs into Todd, who happens to be by the lake, and she cries that there's a killer running on the loose, and they quickly go into one of the cabins and tries to find maybe the remaining friend who is still alive. Discovers the dead bodies of the other camp counselors and whoever else comes to mind, and he accuses Tiffany of being the killer,
the catalyst for the killings. Ooh.
They start fighting. Todd gets hurt, obviously, and let me see what happens. Oh yeah, he chases down Tiffany, about to kill her, but then the groundskeeper. That's another person who was a red herring in this.
So he thought, strange man. Ooh.
But he eventually kills him, and he saves her, obviously. Then we later find the camp manager in charge comes back with the sheriff, and they're about to take Tiffany and Donnie, who turns out to be still alive, as it turns out.
Yeah, now this is the funny part. Donnie was still alive, but he had a bad head wound.
With just a big cut on the side here, and
and everybody else apart from her and him and Tiffany were there, wasn't it?
Yeah. She asks the sheriff and the manager if she could take Donnie with her in her mother's car. Yeah, and they say, sure, go ahead. We don't see a problem with this. And so she and Donnie head towards her mother's car. But as they're driving away, the sheriff is explaining about how at the gas station where Kim and Tiffany were at, there were 3 people who were dead or murdered.
Yeah, the storekeeper.
It turns out these store people were the parents of Donnie.
No, the storekeeper. No, it's not. The storekeeper was there, and Donnie's dad had driven there and stopped there to get Donnie a pack of smokes or something or other. And they went. Donnie and his dad went into the shop, and the Donnie that we saw at the camp, who's not really Donnie, killed the storekeeper, Donnie's dad, and Donnie, and took over Donnie's role and drove down to the campsite and dumped the car somewhere and got the wheelchair out. And they found him there at the beginning of the laneway. And I thought, I was just dropped off here. Well, he wasn't really, was he?
Yeah, it turns out that we do get a huge flashback. After Donnie was left by the guy in prior to the scene, he knocks, like you said, the wheelchair into the water, and then he starts doing his killings,
starting his stuff.
While no one knew that he was either alive or dead.
Yeah, they thought he was dead somewhere. What a good cover.
Well, it is a good mix, and we also get to see a few more flashbacks of him killing the clerk and the real Donnie and his father.
And stuff.
And stealing their car, the dad's car, and yes, we also get even a scene where he's telling the last remaining boy, that it was Tiffany that was doing the kill.
Yeah, get her, get the girl.
And while he was passed out, or pretend to pass out.
Poor little Donnie.
Yeah. then we watch as Tiffany and Donnie and their mum drive away, and
Donnie
he is looking at her
sideways,
looking slyly.
Yeah.
Then we go to the credits, and then we get a post-credit scene where we see a man adding a new face to the clipboard.
It was Tiffany. Tiffany is now missing. But I started wondering, why was her mum put up there?
Beats me. Maybe her body was discovered dead, but Tiffany's is still missing. And also, we get another credit scene where we see, well, actually, it was not a credit scene. It was more of a quick photo of a cat that passed away, I guess. I guess they did kind of special thanks to our kid.
Oh, yeah, they're just going for a special thanks for maybe, they're thanking, not memorial, what are you called? When someone dies, in memory of the people, someone died, so they made a tribute, and obviously the cat died, so they put the cat in there as well.
We then get I don't know if I would call this either a blooper or just a funny another post-credit scene where we see Felissa Rose, who's hanging.
A quick flash,
and we see her opening her eyes and giving us a cheeky grin. Then we fade out.
So is she? Okay.
Is she alive? Or dead?
Or is she going to be in a sequel?
Or does she just happen to be, just slumming it?
Yes.
And or just faking her death like Donnie did too.
Yes. You never know Felissa Rose, do you? No.
But I'm only glad she was not the killer in this production.
It would have been same shit, different day.
Yeah, because I remember when we did the Mutilator 2 one, that red herring should have not have been done.
Yes. Now.
Anyway, so let's discuss our thoughts on the movie.
I couldn't find the usual Metacritics and Rotten Tomatoes stuff easily for this. So, so what I'm going to do, I've got user comments. I found a whole slew of them.
Right.
Most people gave it a average to good rating. There's the odd bad rating where people who don't like independent ones like this, low budgets, they're obviously going to troll it and push it down. But for what it is, a low budget comedy horror, taking the piss out of the other slasher movies of this type, I think they've done a good job. Yeah, basic script, basic acting, yeah. Heard it all before, but what do you expect? It's not an A-grade film. It's not going to go worldwide distribution, make $1 billion to box office. It wasn't made as one of those.
Yeah.
So when you take it in its right classification, its right genre, and the target market, it was going to be more of a net job anyway. In the end, it might have had a short run. Can't find out too much about that. But at the end of the day, it's probably going almost straight to DVD. And I'd say, well, DVD, streaming, whatever, that's the target market for the fans of this type of film. And most of the people, it's anywhere from a grading average, 6, 7 out of 10 up to higher. So, a lot of people did like this. And I like it. I wouldn't necessarily give it a 10 because a couple of things I didn't like, but they're just me, personal things. But I'd give it a 9.
I would give it an 8 out of 10 myself. Because, like Mike here, there was just two things I didn't like about it. One, the dialogue, and two were the actors' ages.
Yeah, a few things. I mean, the actors did look a little bit old, but how old or young got to be a counsellor? Right? Yeah, you don't normally think older teenager, young adult. Yeah, but
I would think about in their say 20s or just out of college type, kids or something roughly that looks like a teenager because if being the dialogue that they were using in this, it didn't work because they sounded too, I don't know, not very believable.
Well, another point too, they're doing it now and it's trying to do a retro to the 80s as well, which doesn't help either. So, no one talks that way anymore.
I understand Felicity Rose role when she did it because I didn't mind her being at that age. She was playing just one of the people in charge, meaning, and I didn't mind her being the age she was. The rest of the people, I just
but she was an older one. She was helping run the camp. Mm-hmm. Like a second in charge or something rather, one of those sort of things. So you need some older people to coordinate the younger counsellor people to make. So you do that, you do that, you do that, and the older people are maintaining the camp and everything associated with running it and organising things and maintenance and food and crap and whatever. Yeah.
Anyway, I wasn't inside the director's head when he was doing this, so
no, I really did a good job considering.
Yeah.
No, honestly, I mean, I like I said earlier on, anyone who can write a script and then put it together, produce, direct, edit, the whole lot, costume design, he did everything. He was in. I was waiting to see. Oh, he's in the credits as well as one of the actors. No, he didn't do that bit.
Oh, well,
but I mean, I wouldn't have been surprised.
It would have been cool if he was playing one of the slasher
devil
killer,
face.
but the devil face slasher killer.
But I wouldn't be surprised.
But I've noticed a photo of him online, and I think that he would not fill out the character.
Well, I would. I look like Jabba the Hutt. Oh yeah, so I wouldn't fit.
My point is that not. Even I don't think I would have pulled it off playing the slasher killer because I'm a different size.
If I took 40 kilos off, I could do it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, I had a different idea of my slasher killer, but then again, everyone does. Yeah. I did also, as I said before about the actor's appearance, I thought it was not very realistic, especially the fact when they had tattoos all over their bodies.
A lot of the females, actually more females had tats, didn't they?
Yeah, more
back in those days, the females wouldn't have had tats. So be careful when you're getting your actors and stuff. If you're even if it's going to be a spoof or whatever, you try to make it real.
If you're making it for just a bunch of mates or friends, then you're basing your movie on, you're not exactly serious about it. You're doing it for the fun of it. But if you're not doing it for serious,
it's still serious. But the point is, if you're going to do it, be professional about it. Yeah. If you're going to if you're going to do a contemporary thing today, based on today, girls, females can have tats and stuff. Back in the 80s, I don't recall seeing any females having tats unless they're a bikie or something. Right? No other girls had tats.
Yeah. Now,
and most of these girls had tats.
Now I'll move on to the things I liked about this movie. I liked the gore. The storytelling, the twist ending to this
and the special
production.
Effects was good.
The special effects were beautiful, and I like the fact that they managed to keep it gory and interesting, and keep you wondering
who is it?
Who's next on the trouble?
Yeah, who's next and who's doing the killing because they're running out of people. Mm-hmm. Was it the boys he liked, or his mate? They were the last two guys, and then they fought each other. Mm-hmm. And then the creepy groundsman came along and saved the girl.
Yeah. Usually, sometimes the creepy guy can be also the red herring sometimes. Yeah. But sometimes he's just a drunk wino who just doesn't do anything. Oh, they did accuse the chef, not the chef, I mean the sous chef guy, who after the first chef died, Michelle, Rose's character, promoted the old chef, the other chef,
sous chef,
as the head chef. Yeah. And when he confronted the killer,
he said, "I'm out of this."
Yes.
But he made a comment.
Yeah.
Something about white kids. I'll leave that. It's something about leaving those upper class, overprivileged white kids. I'm out of here. Mm-hmm. Something like that. It was rather a quick line. I didn't quite get it, but. You can kill the upper class white kids, don't care, and walked off. Yeah. And I thought, rather a good line. It's funny.
Yeah, there is a bit of the old, that particular stuff that's thrown into it to make, because in the 80s, they kind of threw in things that the guys in the censorship board would go rattle their brains over.
Yeah, we wouldn't do that. Yeah.
These days, any mainstream filmmaker would not do that anymore because I think that this will offend someone out there.
Oh, yes, political correctness.
Gross.
I mean, crikey, get over it, guys.
Move on, because
it's fun. It's fake. It's bullshit. Pardon the expression. I mean, it's not real, and you're poking fun at society and reality and stuff. And this is really what happens out there. So why censor it?
I don't know.
Yeah.
It seems like every time someone, even actors who would just float out something, they just take it on. They don't take it in stride. They decide to make a big deal about it, and then all of a sudden, bam! Everyone in the media makes a big circus about it.
Yeah.
It's like, unlike years ago where this stuff would be just confined to magazines and newspapers.
Yep.
And not many people would read magazines and newspapers, because I didn't read them either, because I was busy with other things on my mind.
Exactly. Anyway, we have graded it. You've done 8 or something. I've done a 9. And where do you get it?
That's a good question,
That
Mike.
is a bloody good question for this one. Okay, eBay, there's plenty for sale. Okay, you're listening, folks. Now, Amazon, I couldn't find a listing for it. But then I found a note somewhere on another site saying, currently you are able to watch Bloody Summer Camp streaming on Amazon Prime Video. Well, I couldn't find it. Or for free with ads on Tubi TV. And you said you couldn't find them on Tubi.
Yeah.
It is also possible to rent Bloody Summer Camp on Amazon Video. Couldn't find it. Vudu, Apple TV, Google Play Movies, YouTube Online. I couldn't find it on
There's
YouTube.
probably a logical explanation of why this is happening. Like maybe
I don't know.
Maybe I don't know. You have to pay something to make sure it stays on Tubi. I don't know.
Well, there might be a couple of things I couldn't get into, but the normal stuff I couldn't find. But there might be one of those closed sites. Yeah, if you're a member of, and you go in there and do a search, you could possibly find it. There you go.
A lot of people have asked me to actually put, if I ever think about it later on, to put my series, my Prom Queen series, onto Tubi one of these days. I may consider it after I finish completing the final edit on it, obviously. I still have a long way to go. I'm at the moment trying to wait until the remodeling in our house to be completed before I start serious work on it. I'm actually...
We got one short scene to fix up, which we have to redo because of a cast change. Apart from that, it's pretty much in the can, isn't it?
Oh, yes.
And that apart from your post-edit.
Yeah.
Good.
I'm still waiting on some people. Anyway, I do have... I'm actually working on the credit opening at the moment. I'm getting someone to work on that for me at the moment. So hopefully by the time this video comes out, it's already done and in the can, and Nubby already started working on other starts in the actual web series as it goes. So anyway, that's
it.
All we have to say about the Bloody Summer Camp. You know where to find it, or if you can't find it, I suggest that you try to get try to find it.
Go on a streaming service and do a search. It's not an old movie, so it's probably on other streaming sites as well. Yeah. But look around. But if worst comes to worst, it is available for sale on eBay.
Yeah. Anyway, I would recommend definitely watching it. So anyway, have a good. I hope you guys enjoyed this latest podcast, everyone, and I hope we'll see you guys next time again to review more and more movies and TV shows as we go along.
Exactly.
So, hopefully we'll move on from horror to something else, obviously.
Or do something great like a sci-fi or something or other.
Or an anime or manga.
Or a sci-fi horror. How's that?
Yeah. Anyway, so that's it from us today, guys. So you guys have a great week. So this is Sarah Stephenson.
And Michael.
Saying see you guys around on Boys and Ghouls Film Review. All right, that's it from us. So we'll see you guys around. Bye for now.
Bye, guys.
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 Bye for now.
Bye, guys.